So tell me, is being organic a fad?
No, no, I definitely don't think it's a fad. I think being organic just, for me, it more brings me back to nature.
Hmm.
Um, it strips you down of all the toxins and chemicals, and um, I think things that cloud your judgment, clog your pores, and don't let me live my best life. So I think for me, organic is a way of life.
Hmm.
I don't think obviously it's for everyone, but people can take steps to being more organic. It's definitely not the easiest thing to become organic with products that are, offered to us. Um, but no, for me, it's not a fad at all.
That's Jayme Bella, everybody. If you're tuning in, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or one of the podcast platforms, check out Jayme Bella. She is the CEO of Greener Ways. That's Greener Ways Organics. You can check out their website, greenerways.com. And right now, all their products on Amazon are currently on a promotion. There's a 10% off single items and 15% off bundles. Be sure to check that out. And we're going to be getting a little bit more into your products and everything throughout the show.
Perfect.
But when you think of organic, right, you probably, me at least, I usually think of food, right? That's like the first thing I'm like, all right, what I'm consuming. And I'm very big into organic, actually. It's kind of the, I guess, the ironic portion of my question. But why products? So, you don't hear as much about products. You hear more about the things we consume.
Yeah, I
You want
think
the,
it goes back to the same thing. I mean, produce, how it's produced with pesticides and chemicals. And it goes back to products as well, especially our products. Greener Way started with an insect repellent. Back in 2009, when I was pregnant with my first child, my house flooded and became infested with flying insects. And my husband and I decided to remain in the house while we rebuilt it. And I simply went out to buy bug spray. And while I was standing in the aisle, looking at the back of this label, I couldn't pronounce half of the ingredients on the back of the label and saw things like deep, but then other words that were just insane. And after you start searching and looking up these words, I was like, oh my gosh, there's absolutely no way I was going to use this on myself or my unborn child. So for me, it went back to the roots of things like essential oils,
Mhm.
that come from Mother Nature. So I think a lot of times it is important what people put on their bodies, whether it be bug repellent, sunscreen, baby cream, diaper cream. If you really look deep enough into most of the products that are out there, they're all filled with tons of chemicals.
Sorry, 1 second. So you were just talking about products and how you couldn't read the labels, and how does that, where did that stem from? Like, is it something that you had an experience, let's just say in your past, in your history?
Yeah, absolutely. So my grandmother, my mother's mother, her father was an apothecary. So
Oh,
it's still freezing. Oh,
no, 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 no. You're good. So the only time I ever heard of apothecary, I'm not gonna, the first time it was on Schitt's Creek, the show. If
I've
you're
never even
familiar.
heard of that show, but
It's a good
cool.
show, but yeah, go ahead.
I think of apothecary, I think of what she used to talk about with her dad. So at that
Hmm.
time, the pharmacy, you would go into the back and tell your symptoms to her father, and he would then pull like herbs and things off the wall, and then mix it in one of those. I forget what it's called.
Like one of
A
those.
mortal and pestle, yeah. And he would mix it together. And so she always said to me, if you can't pronounce an ingredient, you probably shouldn't put it on your body. And so that definitely stuck with
Hmm.
me. I mean, if you come to my house, it's pretty ridiculous. You probably open a cabinet and find like a 5 pound hunk of shea butter and, a toothpaste and a toothbrush that like everybody in my family shares. We're disgusting and nuts. But
Say
um,
say what?
my husband and I have shared a toothbrush since we've met. It makes it
Whoa.
easier to travel. So, so I think for me, less is best, and
Mhm.
that always stuck with me. So yeah, so I'm very serious about looking at labels. I taught my kids how to
Mhm.
look at labels. I always talk about it. Like truthfully, if you look at a label and it says 97% inert ingredient, that means that 97% of that product you have no idea what it is. And then the other percents you might not be able to pronounce the ingredients. So for me, like I like to keep it simple.
Oh, are you referring to a label that shows like 3% this, 5% that, and then the rest is like nothing, right?
Yeah. And you're like, what is that? And the truth is that they don't have to disclose it on the label, so you
Mhm.
don't really know.
So I'm also going to backtrack just a little bit. The toothbrush. I just have to like, so may I ask why are you like Marie Kondoing just everything and even the toothbrush
Yeah,
hit it, or
I don't know.
is
It
there
just
more to it?
happened. We share the same deodorant stick, the same electric toothbrush. I mean, we switch the head every like 2 weeks
Oh,
or
okay. Okay.
so. But no, I guess we're both really clean and find each other clean and attract. I don't know. We share everything. It's crazy. For me, like I said, less is best. When I pack to travel for business, if we're
Mhm.
traveling, most likely it's one little, travel bag with our toiletries, and everything is shared.
And that's cheaper on you too, right? You don't have to pay as much for baggage.
Yeah, for sure it's cheaper. And like I said, when it comes to, I wear, right now I'm not
Mhm.
wearing makeup, but I wear makeup when I have to. Other than that, I use, pretty much what either some of the doctors on my staff mix for me or shea butter. So when you don't have a ton of products that is part of your routine, it makes it very easy to just pick up and go.
And I guess now going back to how you specifically, you're not selling food products, you're selling more things actually you put on yourself, right?
Yeah.
Insect repellents, balms, sunscreens, right? All things
Yeah.
like that.
Right now it's three categories. So it's the bug repelling category that has a bunch of products in it, from
Mhm.
repellents to really unique products, and then our sun. And then we just recently are jumping into personal care. So we have an organic shampoo and conditioner, a line of deodorants, and massage and body oils, and the balms that you just mentioned.
And is this the reason why you went organic with everything? Is it also because this gets in through your skin into your body? Is
Yeah,
that something to do with
absolutely.
it?
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, not every single product we have can be 100% organic, but we try to
Uh-huh.
have it the most that it is. But yeah, exactly what you're talking about. For us, it was, well, actually, as a consumer, for me, it was really important that whatever type of seals, whatever type of certifications that I can wear on my products, to let the end user know that I'm really not lying about what's in it. Because you
Mhm.
can find organic products out there that
Yeah.
truly aren't organic. So we try to be above board, all the hoops and bounds and regulatory issues and things we go through. It's super important because I want that end user to know what I'm giving them is safe.
Because technically, what is it, like 90 something percent has to be actually organic, right? To get classified?
There's different certifications.
Okay.
So for an NSF certification, which is an organic certification, your product has to be 75% or higher. And
Mhm.
that's usually used in beauty care, like shampoos and stuff like that. And then there's the USDA organic that, yeah, it's 95% or higher. But we try, I mean, our bug repellent's 100%.
Mhm.
So we basically try to stay in that range wherever we can be. We use the highest quality of ingredients. It's seed to shelf. So I have a relationship with our oil distillers in India, Indonesia, wherever we buy our oils from. It's a direct relationship, and they're certified as well. A lot of them didn't have the means or funds to certify, so we went in, met with them, and
Oh,
helped them get certified, and helped them in other areas, like the conditions of their farms and bringing books to the kids. And it's pretty interesting. And it's pretty easy for them to get certified, especially for bug repellent,
mhm.
for bug repellent oils, because they're naturally repellents anyway. So they don't need pesticides and things like that when growing, because it naturally keeps the bugs away.
So can you debunk the myth, or not the myth, I guess, the truth? What's the difference between the non-GMO project verified, right? And then USDA, or let's just say organic, any kind of organic? Because you see both now, right? So sometimes you see
Yeah.
one, sometimes you see two.
Yeah, I think it's different. Non-GMO just means that you don't have any genetically modified, organisms within your
Mhm.
product. But for the USDA certified organic, it's different. It's a whole different type of certification, from seed to shelf, from where they grow the plants and distill the oils, all the way to my warehouse has to be certified organic. So they come in and they look at even the cleaning products I use within my warehouse. So it's a whole
Oh, wow.
different, yeah, from seed to shelf. So even where I fill my products, so the
Mhm.
machines that they fill on have to be cleaned with the right ingredients. They can't be in the same area as another ingredient that's not certified organic.
Huh.
Whereas I think that the non-GMO is really just about your product itself.
Got it.
And really
So,
about the whole entire
oh,
process
okay. So
and
it's
the,
definitely a lot more rigorous, huh?
yes, for sure.
Okay.
But I think that that's how we started.
Mm-hmm.
That's our standard, and we've kind of perfected that. And I think that's why in our space, it's very hard to have such competition, because it really is a strenuous process.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is competition, I mean, anything with products, things could be replicated, right? You could break it down. People can make products, or try to, at least to an extent. Have you seen the competition yet increase? Do you foresee it?
A little bit. I think after Zika, when Zika was huge, I'm sure you remember,
Of course.
I think people started coming out with the woodworks a little bit, but it's hard to get traction. I mean, luckily for us, I got a big break on QVC. I also got a big break from a Costco Japan buyer, bought my product in Whole Foods and went back to Japan and wanted it in Costco. And then I was able to move back to Costco USA. So I think those things helped us out. And also a lot of the products that came out were so-called natural, but weren't certified organic.
Yeah.
So luck plays a role. Also, I think a lot of pieces play a role, but no, we haven't. There is some competition, but it's not like I'm coming out with a brand new potato chip. If you go into a grocery store and you look in the bug repellent aisle, it's probably the same couple brands that you've seen forever. Your Johnson's Off, your Raid. So, we kind of knew when we started the business that at the same time we had this amazing idea that if I'm not finding products, there's probably lots of other mothers and people finding products. But we also knew the category that we were looking at was ripe for disruption.
Got it. And are you venturing out as well then? It's not, I mean, obviously you don't have to share everything, but
we ventured. So it's funny because a lot of times, it's summer. So at the same time you're protecting yourself from bugs, you're protecting yourself from the sun. So I would have a lot of moms come and ask me, what do I do first? Do I apply sunscreen or bug spray? And when I started digging deep into the sunscreens that these people were using, I was like, nothing. I don't want their sunscreen mixing with my bug spray, because sunscreen's even worse than bug spray. I'm sure there's tons of media out right now, not just about what these sunscreens are doing, to the environment, the entire food chain, the coral reefs, but also when it gets into your bloodstream, you're basically baking yourself from the inside out. It's horrendous. And they're starting to change the laws, and places like Florida and Hawaii have already caught on, and it will become, nationwide. But so at that point we said, what, we're going to create our own. And we partnered with some universities and art team. And this year we are launching our first, it's the only certified organic bug sunscreen in the market. So it's uncoated, it's non-nano zinc, it doesn't absorb into your bloodstream. It's amazing. And at the same time, we created a 2-in-1 product. It's a bug spray and a sunscreen. So when you go out, you cover yourself once and you're protected from the sun and the bugs. And it's unbelievable. I think it's better than our bug repellent. It's probably the best product we've had. So that brought us into sunscreen. And then from there, we've had some interesting opportunities with some of the retailers we work with in creating organic shampoos and conditioners and deodorants. I mean, and all of these, I think, come from having a problem. I've tried every deodorant, spent thousands of dollars. I've tried every natural deodorant on the planet, and none of them work. You smell. And so we've spent, tons of time and effort and partnered with marathon runners and people to test. And now we have the best deodorant, that we're going to be launching in the market. So it's a lot of research and development, a lot of, answering everyday problems with healthy solutions that are affordable.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the last part, right? Because a lot of these products, like they say, right, Whole Foods, whole paycheck, or whatever the saying is, they're saying that a lot of these products are not affordable, right? And that's something you've been combining, right, with your efforts.
Yeah. So I think at one time I was in more of the natural arena in the Whole Foods type stores. And we still were priced less expensive. And there was definitely competition, but because of our price point and being on the lower side of the price point and being competitive with the non-organic items, that's how I broke out of that arena and broke into your Costco's and your CVS's and, even stores like Five Below. So for me, I wanted to reach the 99% rather than just if I go into Whole Foods and I buy 1 or 2 items, I'm done, so I wanted them to be able to come in and buy a bunch of items. So that's definitely been helpful to us.
I guess what was your strategy with that? Did you take a loss in the beginning just to kind of get your name
Yeah,
out there?
for sure. We definitely
Okay.
made less on the back end. And then I think from right now, Greenerways is the largest purchaser of organic citronella in the world, which is quite amazing. So I think as we grew and scaled, then obviously you can go back and work on your COGS. So I think, prices went down, but yes, in the beginning, we definitely made less on the back end so that we could follow the philosophy that everybody can enjoy, a healthy organic lifestyle.
And for someone looking to, get into not necessarily your business, but any business when they're coming up with a product and trying to scale, did you get investors in early on to kind of help back you or
Just my parents.
fully?
Luckily I got my parents to invest some
Hmm.
capital. And then I just, whatever it takes, beg, borrow, steal. But no,
Yeah, no, the
yeah,
beginning days, right?
yeah, I think, there's a lot of different tools you can use, like factoring, it's very expensive, but you can make it happen. Also forming these relationships and getting better payment terms, with the oil suppliers and, whatever we could do to make it work. But really, we really didn't have too much outside capital other than my parents. I think now as a company, we're blowing up so fast that now's the time that we really want to go after some capital. And I think it's the better time for us because we can keep more equity, in the business
Yeah,
because we've
definitely.
kind of grown so much on our own.
Yeah, last thing you want to do is be able to have someone influence the final product, right?
Yeah.
Where you've worked so hard, and it seems like this has been passed down through a family as well, to an extent.
Yeah, I think some of the philosophy, but
Yeah, philosophy, right?
yeah, for sure. I think the way of the lifestyle, but yeah, it's been quite interesting and
And you're what?
and rewarding.
Yeah, I could imagine, especially because it's something you wanted. You wanted to use it yourself because you couldn't find the product yourself, and now it's like, I
And I
solved
think
my own
that's
problem and everybody
exactly
else's.
at the same time building like the business and the culture. A lot of
Mhm.
people that work within the business, are actually family, and most of them are all friends that I've
Really?
known for the two doctors that we have on board, my husband's known them since he was little. My best friend who worked for Kiehl's is now running my entire marketing social media. So
Oh, wow.
we bring everybody in. It's a
Yeah.
whole young, fun, family, friends culture. Everybody, you know, everybody feels like they're growing their own business. There's no ego whatsoever. So at the same time, it's rewarding for bringing people healthy, good products. It's rewarding to be around people that I love and can be inspired by and inspire,
So
so.
you mentioned an important thing right there. Everybody feels like they're growing their own business. Um, what does that mean? Because that's definitely important. And especially when you want to keep the right people, in line, not in line, but you want to keep them for the long run, the long
Yeah,
haul.
well, of course, longevity. I think for me, it's more um, that each leader that I have
Hmm.
in each different section, like if they're a leader for the people underneath them, I want them to feel like they're their own boss, and also that they're building this culture and this company together. So I let them lead, let them make decisions. I mean, obviously, I have an open door policy. Everyone can come and talk to me, but and we have meetings. But I really want them to really feel like I'm not telling them what to do, and they can really lead their own group and come up with new ideas
Hmm.
and bring new things to the table and go in different directions. I think that's what allows creativity, and true entrepreneurship.
What if someone goes totally the wrong way? Like how much of a leash do you kind of
No,
let
I
go?
think it's definitely happened, and I
Hmm.
think that not tremendously, but I think that failure is important. I think that failure, I mean, maybe failure is not the word that you were looking for, but in a
Yeah.
way it's failure, but I think you learn from it. So instead of going, off the deep end, you sit down and you talk about how it went wrong and what do we learn from this failure and how do we fix it? I
Hmm.
think it's also important, like to know that each individual person is different and the way that they function and their needs are different. So I think that we always talk about what's going on within their role, and what do they like and what don't they like, and what do they want to do more of and what don't they want to do more of, and what's boggling down their time, and maybe someone can come in and help them. So I think that the more communication you have, the more they can fly. There's no like major decisions that are made without us all looking at it together. Or if someone decides that they want to take on a new project or do something completely different, they'll come and talk to me about it. So no one's really flown off the deep end, but we've had to rein some people in and figure out. I mean, listen, when you're working with friends and family and different people and you're bringing them in, you might put them in the wrong role. That doesn't mean that there's another role at your company for them where they'll excel. And so we're very much open to mixing and moving and figuring it out together.
So a lot of people actually hate working with friends and family, and it's supposed to be like the taboo thing not to do. So it's going to cause, emotion and possibly, there being like just clash naturally. So how have you liked that? Because a lot of people don't.
I think it comes from at the top not having any ego whatsoever. I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't ask anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do. If there's an order that has to go out in the beginning and I had to spend the entire weekend and sleep here and fold boxes, I'll be folding boxes myself. We also try to form a culture where people are healthy and happy. We do really interesting things. I CrossFit. So I have a CrossFit coach that I love, and she comes to my warehouse twice a week and does a workout. She's actually in Mexico today. So I think I just put on a sweater to look nice, but really I'm so I did every Tuesday I do the workout here, but today I ran the workout, and I mean, it's amazing. We do whole life challenges, on different days that we're doing things, we bring in healthy food. So we try to promote all these fun and exciting things where people can feel healthy and happy and feel better about themselves. So I think it's just the whole culture of that makes it work.
Got it. And that's something, probably shout out to our mutual friend, right? Katrina. She definitely mentioned that you two work together, right? And especially when it comes to HR and different processes.
Yeah, she likes it here. She's funny though. She had to write a report about us, right? So she said, we're very unconventional, and sometimes we don't fit the mold of what she normally would write, but somehow it works. Some of the stuff in there was a little worse than that, but for us, it works. Yeah. So we're definitely different. We're definitely unique. Everybody puts it in. Like I said, from the top to the bottom, we wouldn't expect anybody to do anything we wouldn't do. And I think that's why it works, because everybody, and we're all building this together. So we're lucky.
So is there a fear that as you grow, there's a part of that business that could slowly fade and something on the back of your mind?
For sure. We talk about that all the time as we get more corporate and bring in institutional money or bring in capital. I do think that there's other things that will stay in place. So as a whole, as a company, with Katrina, with my best friend that's now part of the company, we are moving more towards some corporate things. Mm-hmm. But I think for us, these have just been processes that only help, because sometimes when you're not fully, everybody's not fully from a corporate background, sometimes in corporate, those processes can make you move too slow and you can't be first. But for us, implementing more processes only helps us because we're not running in circles. Mm-hmm. I mean, little things, for example, of before you move to create a product, that you need to research it, and then you need to fill out forms for design, just little tiny things that are helpful. So I believe that the processes that we're implementing now will kind of be the same as it gets more corporate. And I'm not sure where the business will go, or by the time it gets to that place, if maybe we'll be acquired. I don't know.
True. Yeah. I mean, you have to leave all ends on the table, right? All possible avenues. But yeah, that's very interesting, because at the same time, you're doing all these things anyway. It's just getting it more down on paper, right? And
just
somebody else is coming in
and making sure everything's buttoned up, and I think that becoming more corporate for now is definitely only helpful. Mm-hmm. So hopefully it won't go fully that opposite way. I think I'll always remain, have control, and that will be helpful.
And backtracking a little bit, like before you got into, Greener Ways Organic, when you started it, did you know this is what you were going to do? Like besides, before the story of kind of how, your family played a role and how you came across this product, did you have any idea this is what you were going to do? Like run a business at all? Like,
I don't think I did. My husband's a natural born entrepreneur. He's had many
Mhm.
different businesses. I worked in the fashion industry. I did sales and development and traveled, through Europe. And I think that together we started a green cleaning business, and together both lived this healthy lifestyle. But I think with his like entrepreneurial background and my entrepreneurial spirit, it just happened.
Okay.
But yeah, he's just like, I don't even know if he's ever held a job, like a real job. So
it rubbed
yeah,
off on you, huh?
he's been all, yeah, it completely rubbed off. And I think that being able to work together and having different backgrounds and being great at different things is helpful. I know where my strong suit is and where his strong suit is. And there's certain times that I wouldn't be able to have grown and do different things if I didn't have a strong, have someone with a strong production background. So, and then obviously hiring the right team and the right people.
So since you did have experiences at both sides of the spectrum, what would you tell someone that was like me a few years back and sitting there in their cubicle, miserable, but also not sure if this life is for them? Because it's not easy. What would you tell
I
them?
don't think that you ever know until you try, but I think that you have to be a doer, not a dreamer. So if you're going to make a choice and do it, it's whatever it takes. You're all in or nothing. But I think that there's no point in living miserably. Like, you could always go back to your accounting job, right? So I think it's just taking the step and moving and doing it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people want to sit there and think and mull it over, but you just got to all in. If you're going to do it, do it. But I think it's important to also like have some kind of business plan. Your idea is just an idea, but how do you create that idea into truly how it's going to work for your business? So, we kind of had an idea and had a plan. And I mean, it really started in my living room. A friend of mine built a machine and we were pumping, and, it really, it wasn't, in hindsight, I can tell you, what I think it should be, but really at the time it just happened and it moved and we were just in it and doing it. So
I'm imagining like Breaking Bad style. You're just combining different things. Chemicals are floating and gas is going.
really, we read an article, I think it was in a National Geographic. And we also knew of some of the other stuff we were using in our cleaning business. We were cleaning things like the Children's Museum of Manhattan, but obviously that was a hard business to scale. But yeah, we kind of just looked back to nature and was like, what have people been using for thousands of years to repel insects, rather than man-made, chemicals that were developed to eradicate bugs. So
That's definitely an interesting way of looking at it. Well, now we're officially on to our listeners' favorite segment of the show.
Welcome to the round with no name, because they're all taken.
So I hope you have had your coffee. If not, don't worry. This segment will wake you up even more. So, actually, yeah, you just did CrossFit, so you're good. You're good.
It was a small workout, not my normal, but I feel like I have energy.
Well, this will be a workout for the brain. So,
cool.
Without further ado, we just want you to kind of throw questions out there, throw answers out there. You get 5 seconds to answer each question. So we don't want you to think too much. We just want to know who's the real Jayme Bella. And without further ado, here we go.
Okay.
What is your favorite book?
The Virtue of Selfishness by Ayn Rand.
Your favorite movie?
Favorite movie, I would say Gangs of New York.
Favorite CrossFit move?
I think Snatch.
I will pretend I know what that is. You're stranded on an island. What is the one item you want with you? Can't be a person.
Oh man. Spotify on my iPhone.
Sweet. I hope you got a huge battery, because you're not going anywhere for a while.
that, right? You didn't say I couldn't.
I guess you could have like a solar pack on it or something, right?
Yeah.
There you go. How do you drink your coffee?
Light and sweet.
Light and sweet. That is that
Cream
just
and raw honey.
cream and raw honey.
It's
It's
a really good coffee. I take the cream and I heat the cream and I infuse the cream with the raw honey and then pour it into the hot coffee. Best cup of coffee.
that sounds game changing.
Yeah.
Is the cream?
I'll have to get you one sometime.
Yeah, seriously, I'll be waiting here. I'll give you my address after.
Someone says it's their favorite coffee.
I'll give you my address after. Hopefully, it gets delivered hot.
Perfect. And I mix different coffees together, so you got to have some kind of Italian roast in there.
Yeah, and do you do dairy or non-dairy on the cream?
All raw milk from the farm,
Oh,
straight from the udder.
all right. Well, then we got to talk about your sources after the show. Who has been or is your greatest mentor?
I would actually have to say my husband.
I think that's the first. Surprisingly, I don't really know if anybody else has ever said that.
Like Gangster Einstein. He's super well read. One of the smartest people I've ever met, but street smart as well. So I'm just lucky. Every day is like a learning experience with him, and it's funny and fun. And yeah, he's my favorite person.
Oh, that's great. I know who's going to be I know who's going to listen to this episode. I already know.
Right.
What is the one item you consume every day, or maybe you just wear it on you every day, but it's one thing. You might eat it or drink it or just wear it. You can't go a day without it. Not coffee, obviously.
Well, I mean, let's see.
Water's too easy.
Yeah, water's too easy.
I love one thing that makes you
shea butter.
Shea butter?
Yeah, shea butter.
Apply it on the skin? Yeah,
so I apply the shea butter on the skin. I have, my doctors have mixed my shea butter with a little CBD that I put on the face. And that's that's just all day, every day shea butter everywhere.
May I ask, what is it with the shea butter? Does it keep you young?
I think if you think about it, it's from Ghana. So they're in the sun a lot. For me, it's ultra moisturizing on my skin. I've never had an adverse reaction, never a breakout. I buy it raw in the hunks of it. And it's just, if you rub it real, it lasts all day long. It's the most amazing, for me, moisturizer I've ever used. It's not mixed with anything. It's just raw hunks of shea butter.
Awesome. I actually had some before and it was pretty good stuff. You might make me look back into it.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to mix you some with the CBD. It's good for the puff under the eyes and but I would say shea butter. I don't know what else.
What is your favorite organic brand? Not yours.
I would say that what you would find in my house would be Mrs. Meyer's. I do make a cleaning product myself that I use as the all-purpose cleaner, but when it comes to dish soap, hand soap, I'm a Mrs. Meyer's fan.
Who are you most nervous to meet?
I don't think I'm nervous to meet anybody.
There's nobody out there that you've just been dying to meet, and when the moment comes one day, you're wouldn't know what to say.
I've always been true. I've always been out for any kind of adventure, whatever it may be. I find it exciting. I'm more nervous about getting in a race car and driving 150 miles an hour. Even though my husband drives like that and I slink down, I look out the side. But I think when it comes to people, I don't think there's anything that makes me nervous.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is entrepreneurism a fad?
No, I truly believe that the entrepreneur, like we talked about, you find areas where you have issues or problems and you want to find a solution. So most of the time, I think it's a selfish thing. Being an entrepreneur, you're fixing problems that you have, and if others can benefit from them, it's fine. So it can't be a fad if you're, if not, you're just complacent and, using that chemical bug spray that you've always used.
I love it. That's a cool way to look at it.
Yeah.
Well, you survived. I survived. My producer usually would lurk out of the background if this round took too long, but he didn't. So we are safe from him.
funny or good enough. Who knows?
You made it. No, you made it. I don't want to see him. Trust me. It's a bad day. Yes, you will. Well, we'll connect afterwards. You will get a prize.
I was just kidding.
But yes, last but not least, Jayme Bella, everybody, be sure to check out greenerways.com. That's for the website for all the products. You can see our Facebook, the Twitter, Instagram, all the links are there as well when you scroll down to the bottom. And on Amazon, they have a promo going on right now. All their products are 10% off, as well as 15% off the bundles. So check out Greenerways Organic on Amazon and on the website.
Awesome.
It's been definitely a pleasure having you on.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Any closing thoughts? They're yours. The mic is yours. If there's anything else you want to finish off with.
No, I would just say that living a healthy lifestyle doesn't have to be stressful. Take one step at a time. And I truly believe that when you rid yourself of all these things and you can live more of a natural lifestyle, it just becomes easier and healthier. So I guess that's it. And to enjoy every day and live every day like it's your last.
Exactly. Perfect. Awesome, yeah. Jayme. It's been a pleasure having you on. Can't wait to be in touch.
I appreciate it.
That is all for this episode of Boss to Boss. Your next step is to visit bosstoboss.com, where you will find proven techniques followed by professionals to help you make that next step. Again, that is boss2boss.com. And remember, the time is now.